Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I am Auntie Nancy. If this is your first time of coming across my channel, please do not forget to like, subscribe, leave me lovely comments if you love this video. And if you are a returning subscriber, I love you so much. Thank you for always stopping by. Thank you for always coming back to watch my video, and I hope you are learning. And if you are an adult learner, you are a beginner, remember you're no longer a beginner. But if you have been learning from this channel, I love you so much. Keep it up, for definitely you will be happy that you didn't waste your time, because trust me, if you've been following the video, I'm sure that by now you must have learned something from my channel. I love you so much. I am your favorite Auntie Nancy. Today we're going to be talking about vocabulary. Vocabulary. Now, vocabulary refers to the words a person knows and uses. Vocabulary refers to the words a person knows and uses. For example, marketplace. When you find yourself in a marketplace, you will be hearing words like goods, services, buying, selling, sales, stock, shops, so many things, so many words you'll be hearing when you find. The same way when you go to another location, for example, if you go to a school, you'll be hearing words like student, classroom, library, ICT room, scientific lab, you'll be hearing words that are associated to that environment. So the number of words you know in the environment, and the number of words you know and you can use in the environment you find yourself, is known as vocabulary. Then what is vocabulary development? Vocabulary development is the process of learning and expanding this knowledge. Commonly, people will say business money. The money they use in starting their business, they'll call it business money. But business money can be called capital. Now, when you're using another word for what you already know, you are expanding your vocabulary. So basically, vocabulary development is having a knowledge of words you can use in the environment that you find yourself and how to use them. So today we're going to be talking about words associated with driving. The vocabularies that we're going to be learning today has to do with words associated with driving. And we're going to tag these general driving terms. General driving terms. We're going to be learning how to spell the word, the meaning of the word, and we're going to make sentence with the word. So the first word I have here is drive. Drive. How do you spell drive? Dra, dre, dree, draw, drew. Drive. D-R-I-V-E. Drive. D-R-I-V-E. Drive. Now, what is the meaning of drive? It means to operate a vehicle. To drive means to operate a vehicle. Now, how do we make sentence with this word? He drives a truck for a living. He drives a truck for a living. Another example can be driver. Now, we already know how to spell drive, that it is D-R-I-V-E. Now, to make it driver, all we have to do is just to add the letter arrow to drive. When you add letter arrow to drive, it gives you driver. If you know your English digraphs, remember digraphs are two letters that make one sound. E-arrow sound A. E-arrow is an English digraph that sound, one of an English digraph that sound A. So when you add arrow to drive, it gives you driver. Now, who is a driver? A driver is the person operating the vehicle. Remember we said to drive means to operate a vehicle. Now, the person operating a vehicle is called a driver. How do we make sentence with this? For example, The driver of the car was very careful. The driver of the car was very careful. Another example is vehicle. Vehicle. Ve, va, ve, vi, vo, vu. Ve, V-E, E-H-I-C-L-E. Now, there's a digraph in this word vehicle, and that's L-E. The letter L-E is an English digraph that sounds O. So we have vehicle. V-E-H-I-C-L-E. Vehicle. A vehicle is a machine used for transportation. A vehicle is a machine used for transportation. Are you the owner of this vehicle? Are you the owner of this vehicle? Another word can be road. Please don't forget we are learning words associated with driving. And we're learning how to spell some of these words. We mentioned drive, driver, vehicle. So the next one is road. How do you spell road? R-O-A-D. And that is because O-A sound O. O-A sound O. Road. R-O-A-D. Now, a road is a path or way for vehicles to travel. A way for vehicles to travel, or a path for vehicles to travel, is called what? A road. And how do we make sentence with road? The road was slippery after the rain. The road was slippery after the rain. The next one is traffic. How do we spell traffic? Traffic. Traffic. T-R-A-F-F-I-C. Or you say T-R-A-F-F-I-C. Now it means vehicles moving on a road. Vehicles moving on a road is called traffic. Now let's make sentence with traffic. There was heavy traffic on the highway during rush hour. There was heavy traffic on the highway during rush hour. The next one is highway. Now this is a major road, and we usually call it express. A major road is known as highway. And it often has a multi lane. Like it has more than one lane. A major road has more than one lane. How do we spell highway? H-I-G-H-W-A-Y. H-I-G-H-W-A-Y. This is a compound noun. Merging two words together. Highway. A major road, often a multi-lane road, like I mentioned earlier. So how do we make sentence with highway? For example, they took the highway to get to the city quickly. They took the highway to get to the city quickly. Intersection. Intersection. I-N-T-E-R-S-E-C-T-I-O-N. Intersection. Let's spell again. I-N-in. T-E-R-O-E-R sound A. S-E-C-T-I-O-N. Intersection. Intersection is a place where road meets. Some people will call it fault junction. A place where roads meet is called intersection. So how do we make sentence with this? Oh, be careful at the intersection. There are many cars. Be careful at the intersection. There are many cars. The next one is turn. 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 Now, it means to change direction. When you are changing your direction when driving, you are turning. Turn is 4-letter words. T-U-R-N. Turn. T-U-R-N. Turn. Like I said, it means to change direction. And how do we use this in a sentence? Turn right at the next light. Turn right at the next light. The next one is accelerate. Accelerate. A-C-C-E-L-E-R-A-T-E. A-C-C-E-L-E-R-A-T-E. Accelerate. R-A-T-E is rate. Ace. A-C-C-E. Accelerate. L-E. Le. Rate. R-A-T-E. Now it means to increase your speed when driving. When you increase your speed, you are what? Accelerating. Accelerate means to increase your speed. How do we use this in a sentence? She accelerated to pass the slower car. She accelerated to pass the slower car. Okay, don't forget it means to increase your speed. Now let's talk about brake. This is common with driving. Brake. Now brake means to slow down or to stop a vehicle. How do you spell brake? Bra, bre, bri, bro, bro, bray, bri, bri, bro, bro. Brake, as in bre, B-R-A-K-E. Brake. Now it means to slow down or to stop a vehicle. When you slow down or you're stopping a vehicle, you are what? Holding a brake. He had to brake suddenly to avoid hitting the dog. He had to brake suddenly to avoid hitting the dog. The next one is overtake. Overtake. O-V-E-R, over. T-A-K-E. It's a compound noun. Overtake. O-V-E-R-T-A-K-E. Overtake. Now, overtake is to pass a slower vehicle. Yes. When you move faster than a slower vehicle, you are what? Overtaking. Example, it's dangerous to overtake on a curve. It's dangerous to overtake on a curve. Now, the last but not the least for this class today is called speed limit. Speed limit. Speed limit. Like I said, whether you are going for a driving school lessons or you have a driving school exam to write, this topic you are going to benefit from it. I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to bring more words associated with driving. All right, so stay glued to the channel. Like I said, the last but not the least for this topic, for this lesson today is speed limit. Speed. S-P-E-E-D. Speed limit. Laleli. L-I-M-I-T. Limit. L-I-M-I-T. Limit. Speed limit. S-P-E-E-D. That's speed. L-I-M-I-T. Limit. Now, what is speed limit? It is the maximum speed allowed on a road. The maximum speed allowed on a road is called speed limit. Now, example, the speed limit on the road is 55 mph. The speed limit on this road is 55 mph. You shouldn't drive more than some, so you don't cause hazard on the way. You have to drive with the minimum or the maximum speed limit on the road. You shouldn't just drive high like that. So that will be all for today. Do not forget our topic was vocabulary and vocabulary development, where I said vocabulary has to do with the collection of words or the words a person knows and uses. Then Anna said vocabulary development has to be with learning these words and expanding them. Okay, in every environment you find yourself, you should know the kind of words to use and how to use them in a sentence. Why don't you leave me lovely comments and give the video a thumbs up. My name remains Auntie Nancy. See you in my next video.